All right, standard form. All right, it contains one variable is written with the terms in order from greatest degree to least degree. When you're looking at degrees, are you looking at the coefficients or the exponents? Degree goes with exponents. So what you're trying to do here is write them in descending order from greatest to least. All right. Now, when it's written in standard form, the coefficient of the first term is called the leading coefficient. Don't look at that yet. All right. We're going to put these in order first. Or is it already in order? Let's decide. How many terms are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. And the second question is, are the exponents written from greatest to least? 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, did it say 4, 3, 2, and then 0? X to the 0. Yep. Sorry. Now, how many terms do we say? 4. So it's a 4-term polynomial. All right? Polynomial. Now, we don't know what that's called yet. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Did you say quartic again?
No, we didn't say that. I
don't think I deal with it. Next thing is to decide if they're written in descending order. Yeah, 4, 3, 2, and then 0. Now, again, you'll notice some of the terms get skipped, like the x. There was no x term. There was no x till the first term here. So we don't have an x to the first term. It's okay. Then the second thing is, once it's put in order, you look at the first term, and this is called the coefficient. This is step 2. That's called the leading coefficient. So the leading coefficient of this polynomial is 2. All right, write the polynomial in standard form and give the leading coefficient. All right, now be careful, because when you take the terms, you want to take the sign with it. All right, so everybody find the greatest exponent in number 1. Alexis, what is the greatest exponent in number 1? 5. And the term that it goes with is the negative 7x to the 5th term. You guys all see that? Do you see how I take the negative with it? That whole term is negative. Negative 7x to the 5th. All right. Let's go with Samara. What's the next highest degree? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over Aaliyah's crinkling of a water bottle. Next highest exponent. 4x squared, right? It's a power of 2. And I'm taking the positive with it. Now, if it was the first term, would I put a plus out front? No. But since it's the second one, we're going to take the plus 4x squared with it. All right, let's go with Corbin. What's the next term?
9.
What's its exponent?
1. 0.
What's 6x's exponent?
1.
So which one goes next?
6x.
Good. Plus 6x. And then plus 9. This is called standard polynomial form. Standard polynomial form. Second part. Actually, I want to notice a couple things. 1, 2, 3. It's just 4 terms. We'll practice our vocabulary. 4 terms. And what degree is it? What's the highest exponent? 5th degree. 5th degree polynomial. And then the question they asked us, what is the leading coefficient? All right. Bailey, what's the leading coefficient, do you think? Or do you not know yet? Good, negative 7. The leading coefficient is the number in front of the highest x. the x with the highest exponent. It's the number in front. Questions on that process? All right, try the next one on your own. Sabrina, what'd you get?
1, 3, 1, y 6
Y to the sixth.
plus y
We say y squared
squared.
Yep.
Negative 3y.
minus 3y. And what's the leading coefficient? What's the leading coefficient? What'd you say, Sabrina?
Y6 and y6.
Y to the sixth is the first term. What's the number being multiplied in front of it?
1.
1. Good. That one's tricky. If there's not a number out front, it's understood to be 1. You guys get that? All right. Number 3. Take a look. Evan, help me out. What term should go first?
X.
To the good. X to the fifth. Gavin, what goes next? You know what I do sometimes? This might help you guys. If you underline them or put like some sort of little bracket or something underneath them, just to remind yourself that you've written it down, it'll help you to not miss terms. All right? Gavin, what would you put next?
9x.
Good, with a plus in front of it. I put the plus also. There you go. Aaliyah, what would go next?
Negative 4 and 4x squared.
Minus 4x squared.
Okay.
Ethan, what goes last?
Plus
Good. And Ethan, help me out. What's the leading coefficient? It is 1. There's a 1 in front of the x to the fifth. Very good. Dorian, how many terms does this polynomial have? 4 terms.
What degree is it?
5th degree.
5th degree.
Nice.
All right. Here we got some like terms. How many terms does this polynomial have? Everybody see 3?
Yeah.
This one, this one, this one. Remember, when we're adding or subtracting, we can only combine like terms. Now, careful. This is 12p to the third. Are there any like terms with 12p to the third? Yes. What is it? Bailey. Good. What happens when you have 12p to the third and you add 8p to the thirds? You have
20p to the third.
20p to the thirds.
I thought it was P to the sixth, Mr. Wessel.
It is not.
Why not?
Because imagine here, when you have 12p to the thirds, like what if you have 12 apples? Can you picture the 12 apples just sitting there beautifully? Not Red Delicious. That's a misnomer. They're actually red trash. All right.
Oh, no.
Granny Smith's, kind of tart.
Yellow candy.
You gotta go with the Honey Crisp or the Pink Ladies. All right, Honey Crisp, Pink Ladies. Skip everything else. They're gonna put the other ones on sale. Don't let that tempt you. Okay. You have 12. Sorry. Yeah. 12 Honey Crisps. 12 Honey Crisps. Okay. And then someone offers you 8 more Honey Crisps. Now you have 20. What? Galas? Red Delicious? No, you have 20 Honey Crisps.
So the pizza is Honey Crisps. Or just
Peter the Third is the Honey Crisps.
I'll remember that.
But wait a minute. Someone wants to offer you 11 Golden Delicious. That's fine.
11 strawberries.
That's fine. But can you combine those and say I have 31 Honey Crisps? No, they don't belong with the Honey Crisp. They're not good enough to combine with the Honey Crisp. They're an inferior apple. Okay? Does that make sense, Mr. Parker?
It does, thank you.
You're welcome.
What if it was a strawberry?
Just smile and wave.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Oh, it was strawberry. It was pretty good.
Now, Mr. Parker, I think what you might be thinking of is, what if you were to multiply these?
Wow.
If you multiply these,
Then you do it.
then you'd have 12 times 8, because it's multiplication, which is 96. P to the, when you multiply bases, you do what with their exponents? Add. P to the 6. But that's not this problem. This problem, you're adding terms. Here you were multiplying. That's different. That's different.
That makes sense, Mr. Westfall.
I'm glad. Don't get mad. Get glad.
That wasn't the worst example I've ever seen. That wasn't. Oh, that was good.
That was the worst joke I've ever done.
Thank you.
Oh,
Tom.
that's how it's. Okay.
That's how it's spelled.
That
Just
makes
that
more
would help.
sense.
That would help. Bratwurst.
Lost.
Because like, Mama, I don't know, like.
Bratwurst, WRORST.
Bratwurst. All right. Next one. Put this one in descending exponential order or standard form. It's amazing how much they've genetically modified apples.
Yeah.
Like they what?
Remember they had this little.
Not like there are very few original apple types anymore. Like they will cross pollinate apples
I'm gonna try
to get these special types.
I like a nice
Fuji.
I like a nice red Fuji,
Fuji got
nice sweet.
Gala, Honeycrisp, Pink
Bananas are
Lady.
like this big, and then
Huh?
they
Gala?
genetically modified. What? Yeah, really tiny.
What? What are
Real, I know, but I'm just bringing it up. Also, pineapples really grow weird.
Do you know overseas they sell bananas in like packs of various ripeness stages, which makes sense because like you buy a bunch of bananas, you get 6 of them. They're all ripe the same day.
true?
You know, overseas they sell like they'll sell one really green one, then like the next, like they'll sell them
Makes
together.
sense.
That's so
You can enjoy them over the course of time.
Have you seen those little boxes
It's so
that, like,
small.
when people grow apples, they put them in these little boxes so that
Mm-mm.
when they grow, they're, like, in the shape of a square.
They did that with watermelons,
Yeah. That is weird.
Really?
Yeah.
so they don't roll.
Oh, they put them in cubes.
Well, they grow them like in a field,
box.
so they don't roll in the
Yeah.
fields on like hilly fields.
They end up being in cubes,
I've never seen a cube
Yeah, they're
watermelon.
expensive.
I know I want to.
almost like a truncated
I
cube.
would eat it. That'd be so funny.
All right, do you agree? As you look at the terms, these are all to the second power, so they're all going to get combined. Yes. What's the the only ones that get combined though are the ones that have the like exponent and like variable, right? The like variable. So I sometimes will do what I will underline my t squareds with one color or one underline, and then my s squareds with maybe 2.
Ms. Russell, did you want the quizzes back or did you record?
You can have those. Yeah, I recorded them.
Okay.
Now, how many t squareds are there here in the first term? How many t squareds? There's 1
But that one doesn't mean
t squared. What happens when we take 1 t squared and take away 4 t squareds? We have
Negative 3t squared.
negative 3 t squareds. I'll call that the blue term. What happens when we have 2 s squareds and we take away 1 s squared? We have 1 s squared, and we typically don't write the 1 out front. It's understood to be there. Just like some students are understood not to be here. They are the
It's not gonna make any sense to actually.
typical brat.
Just like,
What does that say? That's a part.
Brat.
no that's
What
Aaliyah.
does that
That's Aaliyah.
Worst. Worst.
say?
You have to write my name on the board for the people that are watching this.
It doesn't know how to spell it.
That's right. Underline the
Like,
A.
Yeah.
But you abbreviate your last name in a weird way. On the quiz, you did like
Oh, I just did Kova. It's just the first 2. I mean, the first 4.
it didn't look like
letters.
Kova.
Yeah, it's Kova.
During COVID.
Coalition. Coalition. I just, it's really easy to write my whole name.
All right, now be careful.
The line's not big enough.
I see 3 terms. Do you see 3 terms?
I did.
Are they like terms?
Yes.
Yeah, because I see an m squared and an n, an m squared and an n, and m squared and an n. These are all like terms. They're going to combine to make 1 term because they are alike. What happens when you combine these? How many m squareds times n do you get? Well, this one had 10. This one had 4. This one had negative 8. Zachary,
Would it be 6?
it is 6. 6 what?
M squared n.
M squared n. Very good. 6 m squared n's. Kind of weird, but imagine that as a beautiful Honeycrisp, okay?
Can we do M&M's?
I think you're hung up on Honeycrisp.
I love them.
what is it?
The first time I had one, it changed my life.
You know
Really?
what?
Yeah.
Honeycrisp with Amish peanut butter.
What is it?
What is it? Apple?
Logan.
Is
Would it be an N?
You guys have a good night.
No.
Yeah.
You have a picture of what
we need a picture of Honeycrisp.
it is.
All right. If you ever forget this, break it down into the simplest form. Ready? Tell me if you can do this, Logan. 10x. It's getting glitchy. Bear with me. 10x squared. Come on. Plus 4x squared minus 8x squared. Do you agree? You would just say, okay, 14x squared minus 8x squared. Okay, it's 6x squared. You wouldn't do anything weird with the exponents, would you? And say x to the 6th, right? Same thing here. This is the name of the term, m squared n. Okay, it's the name of our apple, Honeycrisp. We have 10, we have 4, we have minus 8. We have 6 of those types of terms. We have 6 x squareds. Okay? Great question. All right, now last
Whoa.
thump for the day.
Woohoo.
All right, do those parentheses mean anything?
No.
They're kind of useless, okay? Kind of useless.
You have to look neater.
Yeah, I mean, it's taking this polynomial and adding this polynomial. So we have 3x squareds and 5x squareds, which make... Why did I do those terms first?
Because they're the first ones.
Not just because they're first. They're the
Exponents.
highest degree. And I want to write it in standard form, don't I? So how many x squareds do I have now? 8 x squareds. My next term would be x's. Ready? 4x and 2x make 6x. And then 3 minus 1 makes 2. Now, careful. What if this sign between the parentheses was a subtraction? Would that complicate things?
Yes.
Yeah, because I would actually have to distribute that negative to all of the terms. Do you agree? Careful. Try the next one on your own. Last problem for today. Zachary.
If it was a negative, would you distribute the negative to both parentheses?
No, just to the because you're subtracting this thing. When you subtract 3 terms, you're subtracting each one of those. You don't. It doesn't get distributed that way. Just like all of you in a couple of minutes, that middle term goes away. Right? Goes away. Sadly, but it goes away.
For some people.
Now, did you guys agree? We're going to have negative 3a squared minus 7. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, what?
Full of beauty.
Why does that one go away?
What's an a plus a negative a? 0 a's. 0 a's. Just like some of our grades. Oh, boom, Rose.
0 A's? Then my name would be
That was me. Homework.
I'm not even